Good morning, everyone. I hope you all having an amazing morning running around to each webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about Puente leaders, mainly focusing on different leaders in different high schools all across California and how leadership has impacted us. So let's get going. Alrighty, I'm going to have Nadia Marquez take it off with the chat rules. Nadia, go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Nadia Marquez and I'm from James Logan High School. So here are the chat rules. The chat rules are all questions must be related to today's panel. And also please ensure that all questions asked are appropriate and positive towards our panelists. Like also don't ask questions like, what's your favorite color? Like ask questions that go along with what everybody else is talking about. And if you have any questions or comments, please send them to me.
All right, we're gonna just get rolling. So for our panelists today, we have Emiliano. Emiliano, would you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Emiliano. I go to California High School. I am a senior and I am an active member in the Puente cabinet.
Alrighty, Alani, would you please introduce yourself this morning?
Hi, my name is Alani Morales and I'm a senior at Whittier High School and I am the president of our Puente Club at Whittier.
Andrea, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Andrea Rosiles. I am from Ever Alvarez High School and I am the club president for my school.
And just so that I haven't introduced myself, my name is Zulette Orduna. I'm from Annam High School and I am vice president of parent affairs for my high school. Alrighty, let's get going. So for the questions for our panelists today, we're gonna get right into it. So the first question is, how do you define leadership? And I would like Alani to take it off.
Yeah, I can definitely start. So when it comes to leadership, when I think of the word leadership, I think of being open-minded. Leaders need to take into account everyone's ideas and not shut them down. Leaders take charge and are assertive, but they know how to do this within like a respectful way that's not like telling people like just what to do. They're also determined and again, respectful and just like, again, being open-minded and listening to everyone's ideas.
I agree, being open-minded and with the communication, sharing out with your fellow members in the club is very important. Emiliano, would you please like to answer?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think leadership can be many things. I definitely agree with Alani that being open-minded is a huge aspect. And I think the most important aspect to leadership is empathy. Being able to understand the struggles of others, being able to hear the struggles of the voices around, being able to listen and see from the perspectives of those voices and lift them up. It improves communication and gains support for the cause that you're promoting. And in society and in our schools alike, it promotes those underrepresented communities. And that's what Puente program is all about. And I think another huge aspect to leadership is self-love. The ability to love yourself is an act of leadership. Sometimes we get caught up overwhelming ourselves with anxiety or sadness, and taking action to pull ourselves out of that dark place is a huge important aspect of leadership because we can't help others if we don't help ourselves.
I totally agree. Being able to help others is a major role in helping ourselves. It makes us feel good. Just having that balance with ourselves and others is very important. And Andrea, would you please like to answer?
Those were two amazing answers. I feel like I can't really answer it right now, but I think leadership is guiding others as well, like using all those techniques that Alani and Emiliano mentioned and guide others as well. I agree a lot with what Emiliano said about like self-love, this and that. Sometimes I find myself too involved in stuff and I don't have time for myself, but you gotta realize that like, you got to love yourself, take time for yourself to lead yourself into more, and as well take others with you. And if you succeed, they succeed with you too.
I totally agree. Having that beautiful balance with your other members in the cabinet and other Puentistas like is very important. Just a little quick reminder, everybody, if you'd like to answer questions, just direct them to Nadia, please. We really encourage them. And then moving on to our second question for the panelists. How do you use leadership in your communities? I would like Emiliano to start us off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, leadership in our communities, what I think is the most important aspect is getting the community involved. Community activism, community participation, working together towards achieving that common goal. I actually started a club at my school called Club of Inclusive Activities, where we work with the students in the special education department to create friendships and essentially bridge the social divide that's on most high schools. And we work together to plan activities, to create events, to create club bylaws, and promoting that participation from both sides of the aisle is a huge part of progressive action. So from community service to grassroots activism to even our own classwork, there's a huge power in numbers and community participation.
Yes, I agree. Community participation and promoting all the events and different types of activities you're doing around your school and involving the community unites everybody as one. I would like Andrea to go ahead and answer that off for us.
So there's a big divide in my community right now, and I recently joined like Ciclovia and La Cosecha, and I take the outside from our community and bring it into our school to have more students involved. So we have every students from all the high schools go into that and help our community. And my job basically, I go to my school, I go to my club and share all these amazing opportunities and take it back to the community, because we all have leadership in ourselves and we need to put it back into our community. I know mine, we have the east and north side that's kind of divided. So our students were basically working. We all have amazing leadership skills. I feel like when we work together, we reflect off each other and we get the same vibes and put that leadership onto our community, and we could all become united as one.
Very beautiful statement. Yes, involving students in helping your communities is very important, especially in like different types of aspects of community service. There's community service for anything. Just searching on the website, you can go to animal shelters, you can help at soup kitchens. There's different ways to get involved with one's community. And I would like Alani to answer that for us as well.
Yeah, so going off of what Zulette kind of said in the volunteering aspect, that's a lot of how I use leadership within my community and within our Puente Club. So one of our big volunteering events that we try to do every year is a group volunteer event at the Interfaith Food Center, where we go and serve food there. And then individually, I do volunteer at my local hospital within the labor and delivery unit. So that's another way that I use leadership in my community. In different aspects, like promoting community events, we do promote like 5Ks, and then we go for Puente, we've done a couple of times, like going to the 5K and then giving water to the runners and things like that. But I think one of the biggest ways that I use leadership within my community is working at my local Boys and Girls Club and helping our low-income elementary school students get back on track after this whole learning on Zoom with the pandemic. So those are just a few ways that I use leadership within my community.
That is very.
Sorry, go ahead, Zulette.
No, you go ahead, Nadia.
Okay, we have a question in the Q&A. So we have a teacher in Puente Club advisor from Pittsburgh High School, and they're trying to figure out how do you encourage participation in the club. They're trying to get our club off the ground, and it's been a struggle to have Puentistas attend. So how do you guys encourage participation in the club?
Anyone of the panelists can take that away.
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer first. I think this goes right hand in hand with what I was saying earlier, that it's really important to promote representation, in the decision making from the people from the bottom, whether it be lower classmen or upperclassmen, having them voice what they need, say like, what events do we want? What activities do we want? Because in the end, that's how you're going to promote and get the voices from the entire population. And it also comes down to advertisement, creating online flyers, because social media is incredibly prevalent at this time. So creating flyers, creating posters, and outreaching towards the entire community to come to your events, and in the end, it's going to benefit both the people that are starting this program and the future generations.
I'd like to add on. due to like this quarantine and like virtual learning, it was really hard to get everyone feel comfortable. I know my senior class is like very comfortable. We all cried to each other. We're super close, and our freshmen feel like very different. They feel more alone. So what I encourage you to do, what my club does, is unity days. And these days are basically where all the grades gather each other and do fun activities that help them bond each other. It's kind of hard to participate when you don't feel comfortable. I know a lot of students like, if you don't go, I won't go. And that's how a lot of them communicate. So I encourage you, I think I would recommend that you do unity days where the whole club bonds, they get to know each other's stories, they bond over stuff they have in common. Any type of bonding will encourage a lot of participation.
Yeah, and just building off of that, I completely agree. Bonding days are very important. And like Emiliano was saying, a lot of it really does come down to advertising. One thing that we do at Whittier is that we have class representatives for our freshman, sophomore, junior, senior class. And those are kind of the students that like speak within their classrooms and kind of just let them know like everything that Puente is doing at the moment. So I know that we have like our junior rep, for example, like they like every so often they'll kind of promote it like, oh, Puente Club is having a meeting and this is what we'll possibly be talking about. And again, like everything with social media, just like doing a lot of flyers and things like that, making sure that you have like people talking about it while at school, maybe not even just your representatives, but other students as well.
A great point. Moving on to our next question on the panel. How do you use leadership to guide students into colleges and universities? We'll switch back to the Q&A questions in a moment. Thank you. Andrea, would you like to start us off for this one?
So my club, we started this committee called Mentorship Committee. Our district very much struggles to get information out to the rest of the students, not just in Puente. And I feel we're very advocate for that, where we fight for everyone else to have an equal opportunity. So we started the Mentorship Committee, and basically our Puentistas run it themselves. We have teachers obviously right there to look over it, but it mostly Puentista guide because we all take the similar AP classes. So we all know something from there and pass it on to the lower class. So we gather, we pick a day, we say like, oh, in this class, we're going to be teaching AP stats. In this, we're going to be teaching AP Euro. And it's not just for Puentistas, we open it out to the rest of the school, to anyone who needs help, because there's a lot of kids that struggle and our school doesn't have those resources to help them. We also have, for example, last week, I know someone came up to me and be like, what are the PIQs? What are the UC PIQs? I was like, girl, I got you. Come with me. So that's what we do around the school. We never turn down anyone. We bring them back to our Puente class. We call them our Puente cousins, because we can't exclude them, you know. We got to bring them back home and see how this is done. But basically our mentorship is our main committee, basically, where we spread all this information. We do make flyers as well and spread it, and we'll be having workshops here. We also have an amazing counselor, which we always bring up. So every resources we have, we don't keep it just to ourselves. We spread it out to everyone to get, because if everyone succeeds, well, if I succeed, everyone succeeds, if that makes sense.
That is very beautiful, having that support for each other, not only for your fellow Puentistas, for the rest of the student body as well. That is very beautiful. Moving on to Emiliano.
Yeah, so another aspect is that it really comes down to promoting that university culture starting in high school. You know at my Puente program, we have field trips to various colleges, such as UC San Diego, USC, UC Irvine, because I'm in Southern California, and providing college ambassadors to come speak as guest speakers. And it even comes down to providing simple guidance on simple steps to apply. I think we all have this huge vision about college as like, oh, it's this huge thing that overwhelms us, but when we deconstruct it step by step, financial aid, college essays, it really becomes a simple process that the Puente program provides very simply. And in addition to providing resources, it comes down to being resourceful, us students ourselves, asking our teachers, asking our counselors, asking other students, where can I go to find what I need? How do I find out what a UC PIQ is? And how do I find out what a scholarship is? The Puente program statewide prides itself on providing those resources. And it comes down to both sides being willing to communicate and see what we need.
Yes, with the increase in resources, we can increase the chances of our students going to higher education. Very nicely said. And Alani?
Yeah, so very similarly at Whittier, we do have a lot of college talks to promote that university culture. We try to hold them like fairly, like pretty much monthly. We try to have admissions officers come in and speak with our students about their school and what they can offer to our puentistas, as well as planning field trips. So this year it's been a little more difficult to plan the field trips, but we are working on planning more and more field trips for our students to visit different universities. Um, in addition to that, it's a lot of it is giving advice that I wish that I knew before. So examples of that was classes that I recommend taking, especially once I learn what their students' interests are, you know, as well as, you know, taking maybe dual enrollment courses in specific subjects and things like that. And just showing them extracurriculars that they might enjoy based on what interests they've let me know, and just showing them different like clubs, sports, activities, and things like that. So that's how I use leadership to guide our puentistas into colleges and universities.
Very well said. Moving on from our panelists, we're going to head on over to our closing speakers for our session. So first off, we have David. David, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is David. I'm from Gonzales High School, and I'm the vice president for my board.
Alrighty, and then for Lisa, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm from Lucerna High School, and I'm the president of my Puente Club.
Alrighty, let's just get started. Either David or Lisa can commence. Lisa, would you like to start us off?
I'll let David take over first.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about is basically how do you build that Puente Club, right? So I know definitely for me, it's like since COVID happened, I'm basically starting a fresh new club, and we're starting from the ground up, right? And really, the main points we're trying to focus on, we're trying to get like, we're trying to do all of
David,
these
give us 1 second. I believe you're lagging out right now.
activities that we like haven't tried before, and it's really like why, or not why, but like how can we make
Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. If you'd like, Lisa, we can switch off to you, and then we'll come back to David.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the best thing for Puente that I took out of it was that I got for me, it was a safe environment to learn. I went into high school really nervous because I was afraid of just asking questions that would make me appear, I don't know, more dumb than my other peers. And knowing that I was going to be in the same class with my puentistas for a while and being more in a more familiar environment with my friends, that really helped. And eventually I was able to ask more questions and be more eager to ask questions. And I think that did help me with my academic growth as well as personal growth. Another thing is that I had an amazing support system in Puente. It really helped me thrive. So my sophomore year, I went through a rough patch, and I definitely did not prioritize work. But my teachers and Puente definitely helped me get back on track. They pushed me to do my work, and from there, I was able to get myself back on track. So I think everyone in Puente definitely will have that opportunity of just having an amazing support system that will help them. Also, I know for me that Puente has an amazing social aspect of it. So my freshman year, we did a lot of social events just so all the freshmen could get used to the people they were going to be in the classrooms with, and they could become friends with each other and just really become like a familia, right? So we had potlucks, ice skating events, movies, and I still talk to the people that I was friends with freshman year, and we still get along splendidly well. So yeah, and if you're gonna take away anything from this, I think you guys should definitely take advantage of the opportunities around you. Puente has amazing opportunities for you. I know for me, it was joining the cabinet that was an amazing leadership opportunity for me. As president, I'm able to learn how to better my communication skills with everyone, learn how to be more empathetic, and just listening to others and working with each other so that we can all get along. And I think the beautiful thing about it is that we all have a common goal of trying to make Puente amazing, and for there to be experiences where all the Puentistas could just really get the most out of their high school experience. So having that common goal, I think, brings like me and the cabinet together. So that's another amazing social aspect of it. But obviously, the big thing for Puente is that the college, you're trying to get into college. And I was really nervous about it freshman year because I remember first day of class, they were already talking about universities. And I'm like, I have no idea what I want to do. So I was getting stressed out about that. But I think Puente did take off a lot of stress from that. Um, we're planning college trips that'll help us be understand what kind of college we want to go to. If we want to go to a smaller college, we want to go to a bigger one, what kind of environment suits us best and what will help us thrive. So yeah, those college trips are great. And then also, I have a teacher who's helping us with our essays right now, and that's been amazing. And then we have counselors coming in helping us with college applications, so that's also been amazing as well. So that definitely takes off the stress from college applications.
Yes, with college season literally right around the corner, seniors in Puente must be very stressed, but with all the support and all our lovely advisors, counselors, and workshops, it is easier to manage. Now going back to David. David, would you please end us off for today?
Just to make sure, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, like I was saying, the main part, I guess, the main part you should really take away trying to start like the Puente Club is like make sure you have a good solid foundation, and that's something I'm really trying to work on right now, because foundation, it's really everything. If you don't have a solid foundation, it's just gonna collapse, and like really, you really need to build that solid foundation. So right now I'm trying to work with the president currently in my Puente board, and we're just trying to plan events, something we've never done before, and like really try doing anything. Like any exotic ideas you might have, you should try doing them, because really it could turn out to something really big, or it could just not turn out to anything at all. And it's okay if you fail once or twice, but as always, like as you make sure when you like learn from those failures, you won't like, you're not gonna stop no matter what, right? The only time you truly fail is if you stop. And if you just keep on going, if you keep on rolling with those punches, it's really, you're gonna set yourself up for like a successful club, and just in general, a really strong foundation for any club you're trying to start. And definitely from my Puente board, we're like I said, we're trying to work on that. We're trying to do new ideas and everything. So I definitely think when it starts out, you have to have a strong foundation, and you just really need to have people, or also it depends on the people you have, because like you really just need to, I don't know how to really put this, but you need other people who are willing to work, like who are as passionate as you. If you're passionate and you have people around you who are also passionate, you're gonna have a great club. And it's just like you need to see the vision first before you could do anything. But that's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
I agree. Having a solid support system and finding passionate people around you to help you and taking on the challenges and opportunities of Puente Cabinet can be challenging, but with the right people, it can definitely flourish into something greater and spreading it to our community and giving people opportunities in community service, leadership, and other aspects of the club. And then I just wanted to hop on to the Q&A really quickly. So we had an anonymous attendee answer either for our panelists or our closing speakers. How do you balance academics and extracurricular activities? Anyone can take it away.
Yeah, I'd be glad to go first. So I know firsthand how hard it can be to balance like sports, academics, clubs, community service. It can get really overwhelming. So a huge aspect of that is just writing it down. It feels really good to finally cross something off our agenda, like cross this assignment, cross this event, and it keeps us organized. Another aspect is, like I said before, to take time for yourself. Create designated time to prioritize yourself. Do something you like. If you like biking, go biking. If you like sports, play some sports. Take some time off. It's academics and sports are important, but mental health comes first.
And also add on to that, sorry. Don't be afraid to say no. I'm class vice president as well. So I have a lot of titles also like outside of school as well in my internship, organizations, all that. Don't be afraid to say no. Missing a session, missing a meeting, it won't affect anything, honestly. I know I missed like a session just so I could watch YouTube because that makes me relax. So don't be afraid to say no. It will be overwhelming, you will feel stressed, but only you know what you can handle. Some people can handle much less. You can probably handle a lot more, but at the end of the day, you know what you can handle. Don't be afraid to say no and have fun. At least enjoy what you're doing as well.
Alrighty, moving on to our last slide. These are all our panelists and coordinators that helped with the event. And I just wanted to give a big thank you to all of my fellow Cuentistas from all over California in helping us with this session today. On to the last slide. Thank you for everyone for being a part of our panel today. And a big thank you to, again, our Cuentistas and advisors. And we all hope you have an amazing rest of your academic school year and follow in the footsteps of leadership. Thank you for joining today's panel, everybody.
Zulette, do you hear me?
Yes.
Are there any other questions? Because the other one is going to 11:40, I think. So we have to get more.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. We can get a few more questions in. We did have a question from the Q&A. It was from the panelists. For the panelists, as you all said, you need to have self-love to help others. How do you manage your school life and extracurricular activities? Oh, that one was answered. I apologize.
Yeah, there's actually a question for David on the chat, and is, what recommendation for field trips or events do you have?
So like right now, currently, I'm trying to work with my president to plan like panels from different colleges to come visit at the school site or maybe online on Zoom. And we're just definitely trying to get like different college awareness spread, like probably from UC Davis, UCI, different colleges from like CSUs. And like, we're just trying to get the awareness spread for our Puentistas, because like, if they really want to go to college, they'll make the effort to come. And for like field trips, we're not really planning field trips this year because we don't know like the limitations, but we're definitely planning like other big events that we haven't done in past years. Like we were trying to host like a festival for our school and just like trying to invite everyone from our school to come join and like have our Puentistas open up stands and different things like that. That's just like some of the ideas I would bring up. But like really, you could just make up any ideas, like what do you want to accomplish by the end of the year? Like what do you hope? What are some things that people want to do? And just other questions like you should bring to yourself before you want to make an event out to everybody else. I hope that has answered your question.
Yeah, and again, if anybody wants to ask a question, feel free to drop it in the Q&A. Do you have any more questions, Nadia?
It doesn't look like we have any more questions. No.
So that, can you go back to the last slide with all of you on it?
Yes, of course. I also want to recognize Briseyda Lopez from Marshall Fundamental. Thank you for helping with the background of the slides, with all the tech work. I really appreciate each and every one of you, Puentistas, for being a part of today's event and allowing this to become a giant thing for UC Davis. And thank you to our coordinators for giving us this amazing opportunity to be a part of something big and giving back to our communities, to our fellow Puentistas as well. Just,
Go ahead.
oh, if anyone wants to put in another question for the Q&A, feel free. We do have a few more questions, so let's just get rolling with those. So there are some questions regarding academics. So there was one, do you recommend taking AP classes? If so, why do you think it's important to take them? If anybody wants to take that away, there's also other questions regarding careers and
I'd be happy to step in. AP classes are very important. For those of you who may not know what AP class is, it's essentially a college course in high school, and at the end, you take an AP test. If you pass that AP test, then you get college credit if the college accepts it. And I do heavily recommend taking AP classes because not only will it save you thousands of dollars in the future if you pass the test, but it looks very good on college applications. And to address the other question, what career am I pursuing? I am kind of divided. I have a few majors I'm deciding between, from political sociology or astrophysics. They're two very different routes, but like I know I definitely want to pursue one of the two.
Okay, for AP classes, yeah, sure, take them for the AP boost. But honestly, I regret taking more than I needed because I didn't pass my tests. The tests are extremely hard. I didn't pass them. Right now, I'm taking my class at Hernal, which is a community college at my city. But I recommend, if anything, take Hernal classes. That will definitely give you sorry, not Hernal classes, your community college classes. That will save you a lot of time and stress, because AP classes do become sometimes stressful, but only you know what you can handle again. And I want to be a speech pathologist, a speech therapist. So right now I'm taking child psychology at my community college to help with that.
Yeah, so going off of what Emiliano and Andrea have been saying about AP classes, I would agree kind of, so I feel like AP classes are important, but take the AP classes that you're interested in. You don't need to take all the AP classes that are offered in your school, no matter how much of a GPA boost that'll give you, because you're just gonna end up stressing yourself out. So take the AP classes that you're interested in and the AP classes that you feel like you can do well on the test in, because in the end, it's kind of pointless if you take the class just to take the class and then you feel like you're not going to do that good on the test at all. And then for the career that I'm interested in right now, I'm interested in becoming a physician's assistant, specializing within pediatrics.
Adding to what they were saying, what Alani said, know your limitations with AP classes, because at times they can be very stressful and you also have to put yourself first. Like they were saying before, it's like you take a lot of AP classes, then your mental health is gonna go down, and you don't want that for yourself. Like you gotta know like a balance between them. And as the career, I want to study public relations. Want to become a public relations manager.
Yeah, I think you definitely do have to know your limitations. I know sophomore year, I was just putting so much on myself. I thought I could do it all. I took up like 3 additional college courses on top of what I was doing. So it was a lot. But, once you figure out like, oh, I can't do this, you have to figure out the priority, what you want to prioritize, and make sure you're doing something you genuinely want to do. And like, So for me, I'm not exactly someone who likes history, but I took a push, and I'm like, even though I wasn't the best at it, I still thoroughly enjoyed it just because I learned. So make sure you're going into those classes with the right intentions, and that, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I agree. And just make sure that you can manage it all and there's a balance. Again, I'm so sorry about the confusion, everybody. But our session has now ended. Thank you to all our panelists and advisors. Again, I'm so sorry about that. And thank you to all the Puentistas and all the other counselors and participators that came to our session. Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed our panel and have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you. Have a nice one.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Anybody still there? Nadia, you're there?
I mean,
Good